Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes.
Like to react to videos.
We do.
One of those types of videos is police stuff and
I love the
military
police
stuff.
Yeah.
Bit of popomedic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Family Guy as well.
This isn't Family Guy, no.
No, I'm just saying back to Family Guy. Exclusive on Patreon.
Why don't you tell them,
It could have been a Family Guy.
Might have been. Could have been.
Yeah, there you go. Right. It's exciting stuff. The best intro we've done so far, I think.
Brilliant. Seamless.
Seamless. Right, popomedic, AK47 Bandit Shootout, Bank Robberies and Manhunt of 2017.
That's a title and a half, isn't it?
It's a hell of a title. It's basically popomedic's new video.
Right.
That's why I've not just picked one out of thin air.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, let's check it out then. AK47 Bandit Shootout, Bank Robberies and Manhunt of 2017.
Tuesday, June 20th, 2017. A professional bank robber, dubbed the AK47 Bandit, makes his final stand against police after overtaking 6 banks across 4 states in a period of 3 years, leading the FBI on an aggressive nationwide manhunt.
Chino police officer has been shot.
So-called AK47 bandit.
So-called AK47 bank robber.
AK47 bandit has shown such proficiency with the gun. The FBI tells me it's now looking into the possibility that he's a former police officer or ex-military.
This is the story of the North Hollywood shootout-inspired bank robber, Richard Lee Gathercole. Born and raised in the small town of Roundup, Montana, Richard Lee Gathercole, from an early age, set his sights on a career in law enforcement, but once described as a conspiracy theorist, with an affinity for firearms, which is basically all of us.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Gathercole would soon find himself caught in the red tape of the grueling hiring process held by CLIA-accredited law enforcement agencies. Realizing he was unwanted, Gathercole tried his luck casting applications out of state and found success with a small sheriff's office as a reserve deputy. Now serving with a reserve unit and gaining some experience, Gathercole put his name back in the pool for a larger agency within his home state, and even earned himself a conditional offer. However, during the hiring process, Gathercole was arrested for DUI. His offer was revoked, and his hopes and dreams of one day becoming a police officer were shut down forever. Returning to Roundup, jaded and defeated, Gathercole found himself on the path of self-destruction, hitting the booze even harder and withdrawing completely from the outside world. What once was a deep level of respect and admiration for police quickly turned into a seething hatred and resentment. With no job and with little opportunities in his town of 2,000 people, and with his license revoked, a criminal record, and little to no money, Gathercole, like many young men, felt backed into a corner. He began brainstorming, naturally gravitating to armed robberies, where he comprehended the ranging styles of bank heists, the scores they yielded, the factors leading to their successes or failures, and the various methods of contingencies and getaways. Through his reserve academy, Gathercole acquired the fundamental skills of gunfighting, and through his time serving as a reserve deputy, Gathercole understood firsthand the infrastructure of day-to-day police operations, giving him an unusual edge as a potential robber. He knew local institutions would carry too much risk, with a small town factor, a tight proactive police force, and a high volume of 2A carrying Good Samaritans. He knew he'd need to outsource and take scores and venues with overwhelmed police forces, dense populations, and someplace so drastic for Montana, no one would ever pin him on a map. And with a little homage to the North Hollywood shootout, Gathercole elected from none other than Southern California, with a population 23 times higher than the entire state of Montana. His plan was to hit a California bank and continue sweeping banks intermittently on his lengthy drive back home to Montana. This way, the authorities wouldn't think to chase after the same animal, as each heist would present itself as an isolated incident within various jurisdictions across the United States. And by February of 2012, Gathercole hit the road, bound for Los Angeles, and handpicked a California bank and trust in the neighborhood of Chino Hills, located on a corner-fed lot.
How much do you think you could get in 2012 with a bank robbery of a decent size? Do you think they carry that much cash anymore?
20 grand?
20, I was thinking in the tens, like 20, 30, 40 grand or something like
I guess
that.
so, it'd be something like that. Even then, I mean, I guess a lot of payments with card anyway, weren't they?
Yeah.
Cash has been going down in
Well, I've
use
been into
time.
banks over here, and even one in the USA when I've had to get a large sum out, and they said you have to order it. We don't
Yeah.
carry that kind of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm surprised. I think back to the movies when people were getting away with like £4 million from a
Yeah,
bank.
Yeah, they just don't do it these days, do they?
No.
They take cash in and it's gone, and they put it away in the safe, but they don't keep a lot at all,
It's
I don't think.
very high risk, very low reward for what it is. You know, armed robbery with an AK in the States, I'm sure you're getting 20, 30 years in prison.
Be a long time at least, I would guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
armed robbery. You're going to be away for a long time. So.
With 4 egresses to 4 separate on-ramps to the freeway, equipped with an AK-47 and drum mag, a balaclava and his LEO body armor. One day after the anniversary of the North Hollywood shootout, on February 29th of 2012, Richard Gathercole dialed 911 and submitted a bomb threat to create a diversion.
I'm sorry? Yes, it is. And where is it at?
Seconds after his phone call, Gathercole burst through the bank doors and demanded the money.
Robbery, heavily armed 1032.
Officers tied up investigating the bomb threat scrambled to respond.
George 110 is the main positive measure for pursuit.
As he made his escape, Gathercole spotted a Chino police cruiser and opened fire, seriously wounding the officer before fleeing the scene and making out with a score of $12,000. Although successful, the botched heist brought on unprecedented heat.
Chino police officer has been shot. However,
So attempted murder of a police officer, robbing a bank, armed robbery, felony use of a firearm,
Straight up is in big trouble.
fake bomb scare. He's never getting out of prison for 12 grand.
And he'll probably know it now as well. Well, that's it. If it's like $500,000, $1 million, you'd think.
You can see where the temptation would lie for someone,
Yeah,
don't
but
you?
that,
At
I
least.
mean, how many
If you
times
got-
would have to do that to get enough money for himself?
Yeah. Well, enough money to start something. You don't need it all to retire. You're not retiring on it, are you?
No,
Exactly.
It's enough money to kickstart your career and kickstart your life, doing something different.
probably go and get a job and earn 4 times that though.
Yeah, I know.
You know, within a year.
Exactly, yeah.
the word is he was able to drive himself to the medical center.
He fires like 4 shots at the car. Boom, 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 boom.
The FBI suspects he also called in a bomb threat as a diversion. AK-47 Bandit has shown such proficiency with the gun, including right here at this bank. The FBI tells me it's now looking into the possibility that he's a former police officer or ex-military.
If you have any information you believe can be helpful to solve this crime series, please contact the Chino Police Department immediately. Help us bring
Some
the
helmet, that, innit?
AK-47 Bandit to justice before he strikes again.
Do you reckon she rides a motorbike?
Yeah, she's got a helmet on still. one of our listeners, viewers, if you want to call that, lives in Chino Hills. Somebody won one of the prizes.
Oh, really?
Ah, nice one.
Nice. Wonder if it's her.
Maybe.
FBI Special Agent Kevin Bowles of the Los Angeles Field Office responded to the scene and realized the suspect's diversionary tactics, coupled with the suspect's level of violence, made Special Agent Kevin Bowles certain the AK-47 Bandit would not only strike again, but become a huge fucking problem. And only 10 days later, he was right, as on March 9th, at approximately 9:45 a.m., Gathercole attempted a Tri-Counties bank 400 miles north of Los Angeles, in the heart of Sacramento. But this robbery would quickly fail, as the tellers shut down the bank once they spotted him approaching the door.
Yeah, right now we're investigating an attempted bank robbery. Early this morning around 9:45, employees called police and advised that a subject with a mask was trying to get into a rear locked door.
And 3 days later, on March 12th, at approximately 11 a.m., Gathercole hit and overtook a Sacramento Bank of the West in under 3 minutes, making out with a score of $7,000. With the authorities closing in, and not to push his luck, Gathercole waited until July 6th before hitting a Chase Bank in North Bend, Washington. He cleaned out the bank in 2 minutes flat, leaving with a score of $30,000. As the FBI stormed Washington State, Gathercole returned to Montana and purchased a flower shop to launder his new wealth. He'd hit another score of $10,000 6 months later, on November 7th in East Idaho. But despite his MO, the job would remain under the radar, bringing the investigation to a standstill. And as the weeks turned to months, and the months turned to years, the FBI began to lose sight as Gathercole...
59 grand. Can you imagine he goes to some bent accountant and says, I need to launder some money. Oh yeah, how much have you got? 59 grand, they'd probably be like, just spend it. 59 grand, mate.
Just go Centre Parks for a weekend.
Yeah, precisely. I thought you were going to come at me with like millions of dollars worth of drug money.
Yeah.
59 grand.
2 days in Disney World with your kids.
Virtually vanished into thin air.
I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them slide. Homicide, genocide, televised, emphasize, perpetuating war. Tell that nigga he gon' pick a side. Hood ties from hood lines, my nigga doing dope lines. Don't run into the cops, that's a big exercise. Don't run into the cops, that's the motto.
Change channels.
Is that it?
Just change channels.
Spent 49 grand on a sex change.
You could have made the florist work. Carried on with the florist is what I was thinking.
2 weeks of working in a flower shop.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. What's going on here?
I think she smuggled a vibrator into the bank.
Going off to look at her face.
Hello.
It's bizarre.
It's like a minute of content I didn't expect from donut operators so far.
It's not donut operator though.
Sorry, popomedic.
Yeah.
On two developing stories tonight. The feds think the so-called AK47 bank robber is back in action, this time in Nebraska City. In 2012, he shot a police officer in Chino, California, then vanished for years until a week ago Friday. KETV News Watch 7's Alexandra Stone attended today's multi-agency news conference.
Gather Cole's Resurgence in Nebraska netted the Bandit a score of $90,000, sparking yet another media frenzy.
He's involved in the robbery, same type of dress, black mask, black gloves, currently wearing a ballistic vest.
Desperate to bring down Gather Cole, Chino Police Detective Carlos Dominguez flew to Nebraska to convince the feds to focus once more on the case.
The pictures, I looked at him, I said, this is absolutely him.
Dominguez sends this warning.
He's going to end up killing somebody. if we don't get him in custody.
Residents say they're shocked to know the AK-47 bandit was in their town and still may be.
Gathercole remained in the area for the months to come, and by July of 2015, he would head east for the border of Iowa, where he'd strike an Iowa Heart Credit Union. But this heist would quickly become a massive escalation, as Gathercole took a score of $126,000, prompting the beginning of the end. By 10 p.m., Gathercole spiraled out of control. By midnight, between his paranoia and his drunk driving, he'd get rolled by a Kansas state trooper on suspicion of a DUI.
What stupid reason to get pulled over after all that.
Oh, man.
It's absolute madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was
Crazy.
that 120 grand, do you think that was for that one job?
Yeah.
Sounds like
And
it.
then the one before was 90 grand, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And then he was like 60 grand in so far. It's $250,000 so far.
It's not good enough for
And
that
he's
now,
set up
isn't
a
it?
business to launder the money through.
Yeah.
So he's getting an income there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's in prison, what did you do for a living? I had a flower shop.
I just used to sit with a vibrator at my house in the bank, just staring into a camera.
But by 12:05, Gathercole would exit his vehicle and open fire on the trooper. He'd flee the scene and get back on the road by 12:30, making a run for his motel in a desperate attempt to collect his money. He was back on the road by 1:20, crossed the Nebraska state border by 1:50, and crashed his car by 2:30. By 2:50, he'd steal a truck from a nearby farmer, evading the authorities until he crashed it in a field at 3.
Richard Gathercole, and he's from Montana. He was arrested last week, accused of shooting at a state trooper in Kansas.
A roundup man dubbed the AK-47 bandit.
Known as the AK-47 bandit is thought to be behind a string of bank robberies across the West, including a bank in Rexburg.
Following his arrest, the FBI executed a warrant on his Montana home and discovered everything they needed to link him to the string of robberies. As the indictment came down, Gathercole took a plea deal and wasn't to be prosecuted by a total of 4 states, and for other violent crimes, including the shooting of the Kansas state trooper and the Chino police officer. He was ultimately convicted of 1 count of armed robbery and grand theft auto, and was sentenced to 35 years in federal prison and ordered to pay $400,000 in restitution.
So
did he got a court over here?
There's like a plea bargain then, was it, in the end?
Yeah.
35 years, and then had the cheek to appeal his plea bargain as well.
Oh, yeah.
They got away with attempted murder on 2 occasions of a police officer.
Yeah.
There must be more to that.
Normally he would have got life for that, I would guess. Maybe they just couldn't prove it. Maybe they just thought, well, we need to get him put away for something, and it just didn't actually have to prove that he'd actually done it. I don't know.
That's true. You know, if they put the squeeze on him and say we can prove you did all 6 robberies plus attempted murders, or you could just take the deal.
Yeah.
But why? Why would they offer him that in the first place?
Maybe music in the 80s, like what's it music in that video, wasn't there?
I know, what's a bit yeah.
I think he's
in the middle of Flashdance or something.
He's after a job as a movie editor. I think popomedic. He's trying to transition from YouTube.
Some bangy music going on there.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.